Today, Democratic lawmakers introduced a bill to legalize marijuana in Wisconsin. The bill would legalize both recreational and medicinal use. Our Wisconsin State Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson breaks down the competing bills in the legislature.
I've been a lifelong user.
51-year-old Jay Selthoffner is the founder of the Wisconsin Cannabis Activist Network.
Helping bring back a useful plant, a useful economic plant to our economy is very patriotic.
Selthoffner joined Democratic lawmakers at the state capitol Monday to introduce the bill.
So it's time to legalize cannabis, and it's time to do it right.
The bill also requires the State Department of Justice to contact Wisconsinites with marijuana convictions and offer to remove those crimes from the record.
Wisconsin's ready. The data is clear. The historic harms are undeniable. And the support of the people is with us.
Meanwhile, some Senate Republicans are pushing their own bill to legalize marijuana for medicinal use only.
I'm about freedom for people to choose products that help them.
When I sat down with State Senate President Mary Felskowski in late December, she said she hopes the bill gets across the finish line.
It's whether or not we have the votes to get it get it through the full Senate. I would love to see that happen.
A majority of Wisconsinites support marijuana legalization. According to the most recent Marquette Law School poll, 67% of registered voters favor it. From the Wisconsin State Capitol, Vanessa Kelson.
Pressure for marijuana legalization is only growing. The federal spending bill to end the government shutdown closed the 2018 Farm Bill loophole. That means a ban on hemp products will take effect in November.